As I sat and listened to the beginning of this debate, my heart simply broke. And many people know me for being able to do alliterations, and all I could think about was amnesia allows adolescent accountability avoidance agility from across the aisle. So work with me for a second. Imagine being a young man born to Jamaican and Panamanian parents who messed up not once but twice. Imagine standing in front of a judge with your whole future hanging in the balance, and instead of prison, you are given a promise of mercy. Your record gets wiped clean. You get a second chance at life. Now imagine taking that promise and turning it into promotion. You go to college, you get a job, and even become a member of Congress. That's what redemption looks like. That's what America is supposed to be about. And that is exactly the story of the next wannabe governor from Florida.
The studio lights burned hot. The air was thick with anticipation. Everyone expected sparks tonight, but no one was ready for what was about to unfold. Jasmine Crockett leaned into the mic, her voice sharp, her words cutting straight through the noise. You know what? Earlier, someone called America's great cities hellholes. Let me tell you about Los Angeles. That so-called hellhole sends nearly $20 billion in taxes to Washington, more than almost every state in this country. If we're talking about who carries this nation, LA isn't dragging us down, it's carrying us on its back. The audience clapped. The host nodded. But the camera cut quickly to Barron Trump, tall, smug, smirking. The heir to the Trump dynasty leaned forward like a prince waiting for his coronation. The host introduced him with fanfare, and Barron soaked it in. The Trump name hung heavy in the room. At first, Barron played the part of the charming heir, tossing jokes, complimenting Jasmine's energy, earning a few chuckles from the crowd. But beneath the smile, there was something sharper. Each time Jasmine spoke, Barron tilted his head, watching her like a hawk, ready to pounce. The moment came when the host asked about qualifications in politics. Barron leaned closer to the mic, his smirk now weaponized. You know what, Congresswoman? You talk big, but some of us think you're not qualified to sit at this table. Maybe you'd be more at home in, let's say, a mental hospital. The crowd gasped. The host froze, eyes wide. Even the cameras seemed to hesitate. The insult landed like a grenade. Everyone waited for Jasmine to crack, for her to lash out, for her to fold. But Jasmine Crockett didn't blink. She leaned forward, calm as stone, the faintest smile curling her lips. You think you can insult me, hide behind your daddy's last name, and make me look small? Here's a real question for you, Barron. Who's your mom, Ivanka or Melania? The room erupted. Gasps, shouts, a few muffled laughs from the audience who couldn't believe she'd gone there. Barron's smirk collapsed instantly. His face flushed, his posture stiffened. This wasn't in his prep notes. Jasmine pressed on, her eyes locked on him like a prosecutor who'd just cornered a witness. This isn't just about family gossip. It's about power. It's about who was really making decisions in the Trump White House. Was it Melania, the first lady who disappeared from the spotlight? Or was it Ivanka, the daughter who had more influence over policy than half of the cabinet? The cameras zoomed in. The audience was silent, hanging on every word. America deserves to know, Jasmine continued, because when families turn into dynasties, when bloodlines are treated like qualifications, we lose transparency. We lose accountability, and we hand our future over the people who think their last name is a free pass. Barron stammered, his voice suddenly shaky. He tried to laugh it off, accuse Jasmine of being personal, but the damage was done. Jasmine leaned back, calm and commanding. No, Barron, don't twist this. This isn't personal. It's about power. It's about who was whispering in your father's ear when policies were signed that changed millions of lives. Was it Melania or was it Ivanka? America deserves the truth. The audience was stunned. Some whispered in disbelief. Others stared at Barron, waiting for an answer he couldn't give. Jasmine didn't stop there. She pivoted, sharp, direct, unflinching. Republicans love to scream about law and order, but let's be clear, they've shown zero interest in real solutions. They'll protect their dynasty at any cost. They'll defend Project 2025 while ignoring the real needs of the American people. And when they can't defend their record, they resort to cheap insults. That's not leadership, that's weakness. Her voice rose with intensity. The American people don't care about your last name. They care about honesty. They care about jobs, schools, safety, and the truth. And if asking the hard questions about who's really pulling the strings in your family makes you uncomfortable, then maybe you're not ready for politics. The host shifted nervously, but Jasmine had the room in her grip. Barron's earlier swagger had melted away. He sat back, red-faced, eyes darting. Jasmine leaned in one last time, delivering the blow that would echo long after the camera stopped rolling. This isn't about me, this isn't about you. It's about America. And America deserves leaders who don't hide behind names or behind family secrets. We deserve leaders who answer to the people, not dynasties built on shadows. The silence that followed was deafening. Then, thunderous applause. The audience rose to their feet. Jasmine sat back, composed, victorious. Barron tried to smile, tried to recover, but the image of him shrinking under Jasmine's fire was already seared into the nation's memory. As the broadcast wrapped, Jasmine's final words echoed in every living room across America. This isn't about politics. This is about trust. And trust starts with the truth. The cameras faded to black. The battle was over. And Jasmine Crockett had not just survived Barron Trump's insult. She had turned it into the political takedown of the year.
About second chances and even third chances, then it needs to start with us looking in the mirror and remembering that even the author of this bill has a story too before he tries to lecture DC on safety. And it would be complete hypocrisy to have, hypothetically, someone convicted of 34 felonies to lecture DC on what to do with youthful offenders who have been scientifically shown not to have fully developed brains under the age of 25, especially if said multi-count convicted felon was in his 70s when he was convicted. What would be his excuse? Because his brain would be fully developed, and with that, I will yield back.